Hi friends, it's Carolyn Zook here with CZX Stitch, and today we're going to do a flip through of the April 2022 issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. I've already looked through this. You can see I have something flagged here, but let's go ahead and get right into it. Look at that beautiful piece on the front there. I always love the spring issue. You know, I'm a winter person. Winter is my favorite time of year, but around February is when I start kind of craving those spring colors. So this is really really a fun issue. So this first design is by Gail Busey, and it's called Shadow of Thy Wings. And this is what it looks like. Isn't that pretty? Those little robins. It says, "In the shadow of thy wings I sing for joy." It is 77 stitches high by 103 stitches wide. And it calls for DMC. So then we have the cover. Look at that. It's so pretty. It's called Blue Blooms, and it's designed by Carol Thornton Designs. It is 155 stitches high by 116 wide. Again, it calls for DMC. There is a Sullivan's conversion. I'm trying to see how much back stitching is in it. I mean, obviously there's some in this piece, but I want to see if it's a ton. It's not too bad. I've seen worse. So, you know, some of these, if you look real, I don't know if it's showing up like this flower is, you know, some of these flowers around here are, but not all of them, right? And that gives it that kind of fuzzy effect where some are standing out, but not all of them. And then there's a little bit of back stitching around the vase there as well. But not too bad. Not too bad. It's very pretty. This next one, this is the one I actually have marked. This is called Wildflower's Return. It is designed by Kristen Stoltzfus Clay. It is 33 stitches high, and it says 183 stitches wide. And this is something that they have done on banding. Look at that. I just love this. And so I probably wouldn't, I don't know that I would make it a band. Maybe a drum. I would like to do this and then maybe some of these in between and repeat it around and make a drum maybe. Because I really love that wildflower thing. So I'm not quite sure how I would do that, but that wildflower motif I love it so much. I love wildflowers. Daisies are my favorite flower, but really wildflowers are my favorite flowers, if that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. So they are calling for 16 count white Aida cotton band with a scalloped border, which is really darling and perfect for spring. This next one, this is cute. This is called Sprinkled with Love. It is designed by Kate Spiridonova. This is 80 high by 80 wide, and it's called Sprinkled with Love. And you can see the little teapot. They put a little button up there. So if you have something in your stash, this is a great stash buster. And you could easily change the color to match your own decor or whatever you like. It calls for 1 skein of Gast. No. Okay, so there's the call for, so they do have a DMC conversion. The called for this piece is Gast, and then they have Simply Shaker sampler threads. There's the Gentle Art sampler threads, and then there's Simply Shaker sampler threads. I'm not sure what the difference is actually, but there's DMC conversions for all of that. So that's Sprinkled with Love. All right, next. Oh, this is a cute one too. This is called Morning Tea, and it's designed by Stitchora. It uses some of the new DMC colors. This is what it looks like. There is quite a bit of back stitching on this one just to make those pieces stand out. You see this little bird eating the crumbs. This is a really cute piece too. Lots of colors. Lots of colors. Here's the color chart. But boy, is that pretty. Yeah. Lots of back stitching. You know, it's when you get into the middle of the picture, there's some a lot of color changes. All right, this next one is called Blooming Circles, designed by Panochka. This one is 51 by 51. Oh, that's the purple one. The purple one is 51 by 51. The pink one is 53 by 53. So these are really cute. You can put them in glassware. Vintage glassware is what they suggest. This next one is called Spring Fields, and it's designed by Kathleen Burlew. It is 107 stitches high by 107 stitches wide, and this is what it will look like. Very pretty. Again, you could probably change, well, you can, not probably. You can change the colors on this to match your home decor, I think, pretty easily. This one calls for DMC. No. I was like, I don't recognize those numbers. Calls for Weeks Dye Works with DMC conversion. Okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, this is one where you might want to, if you wanted to, you can see a little bit of the variegation in there, which gives a little more dimension. So at least for the center one, you might want to spring for the fancy flosses for that part of it. Anyway, if you can. This next one is called Hello Spring. This is designed by Laurel Susan Studio. This is 110 stitches high by 79 stitches wide, and it's really a darling spring piece. Look at that. Just cute butterflies around the border. A lot of stitching. I mean, this is full coverage, so just be aware of that. Not too much back stitching, though. I mean, where are they? Some of the stems, the flower stems in the pots are back stitched. They've back stitched around these suns here. So here and there, but not too bad. All right, next up is called Home Sweet Home Sampler, and every issue, so Just Cross Stitch Magazine comes out every other month. So every issue, they're going to release 2 parts of the sampler. So this is the April issue, which means the February issue, they release the first 2 parts, and then you get 2 parts for the April issue, and so on. And then by the end of the year, you'll have your whole sampler. So let's see which ones. I don't remember which ones were released when. Okay, so we get the Lighthouse and the Colonial. So we are going down here. So these 2 were released in February issue. These 2 are released this month. And again, you can do this anyway. If you don't want to stitch all of them, you could just pick out which one you want to stitch, if one looks like your home or one you like. And again, you can personalize it to be your house colors or put your house address on it. It's a lot of different things you can do. And you can see they're releasing, so the next issue will release these 2, and then we'll be halfway done already. Oh my gosh, that goes fast. Each block is 46 high by 46 wide, including the border. So very reasonably sized, I would say. The called for is anchor. There is a DMC conversion. There is some Krynet called for, and there is some Weeks Dye Works called for, but they do give you a DMC alternative if you want. And then they always have an article on the sampler sleuth. I have not read this yet. They pick a sampler and they kind of give you a little bit of a background on it. And this month's is a celebration of Easter basket covers. So they go into the history a little bit and talk a little bit about Easter basket covers. And then they give you a design of one. So this one is called Baltic Easter Basket Cover. It is 196 high by 196 wide. It's very pretty. I think that's so beautiful. It calls for DMC. There's a Sullivan's conversion. They tell you how to hem the basket cover and all of that, how to draw the threads. So they give you all the instructions that you need there. All right, this next one, this is so cute. It's called Hoppy Easter, designed by Tangled Threads and Things. This is 70 stitches high by 69 stitches wide, so almost square. Look how darling that is. You could even rechart this to say, like, if you wanted to give this to a child or something, you could rechart this to say, their name. That would be really cute, and put it on like an Easter basket for them. I think this is so cute. I love the little sprinkle bubbles in the background. And he has the cutest little face. This one calls for DMC with a Sullivan's conversion. My light is changing quickly, so I'm going to try to get through this. This next one is called Joyful in Hope. It is designed by Blackwork Journey. So if you want to try blackwork, this is a great piece. This is 126 stitches high by 114 stitches wide. And there is blackwork. So like everything inside this cross here is blackwork. Again, we're called for DMC with a Sullivan's conversion. There are beads in this one and colonial knots, which I think are similar to French knots, just a different way of doing a French knot. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But I think some people find them easier, colonial knots, easier way to do French knots, essentially. All right, this next one, I think this is so sweet, too. This is called Easter Egg Trio. This is designed by Karen Bowen of KEB Studio Creations. There are 3 different Easter eggs. Each one is 66 stitches high by 46 stitches wide. They call for DMC Blanc, and then classic color works. So these are really cute. And of course you can change up the colors to match your home decor. You could do different designs in all the same color. I think this would also be pretty with like a really pale yellow, a pale blue, which I think these would be really cute. So you could do like a whole tree of them, right? And different springtime pastel-y Easter colors. So this next one is a series that is sponsored by Sullivan. So the only called for thread is Sullivan's. There is no DMC conversion. It is called the All Stars Songbird Quilt Blocks. And this month is the Blue Jay. So they're going to give you a different quilt block each month. And you stitch, I think, this whole centerpiece. And then the idea is then you sew it together at the end to create your quilt. So the Blue Jay is the one we're getting this month. Does this say? Oh, yes. 121 stitches high by 121 stitches wide. And that's just for the Blue Jay piece. And again, like I said, it calls for Sullivan's. There is no DMC conversion. So they want you to try out that Sullivan's. All right, this one is another really sweet piece. This is designed by Century Farm Stitching. It's called For This Child. Let's take a look at it. You see that cute fabric around it. They made this into a pillow. This says, "For this child I have prayed, and the Lord has granted the desires of my heart." 1 Samuel 1:27, I think it says. The Bible verse. This is 70 stitches high by 123 stitches wide. It calls for DMC with a Sullivan's conversion. This is all words, right? So this one should go fairly fast. Obviously, there's a lot of back stitching, but there is some, you can see like in the word child that there's some thicker letters. Those have one cross stitch in it, and then it's outlined in back stitching. So a lot of back stitching, but I imagine this one would go pretty quick. This next one is called Welcome Little One. It's designed by JB Cross Stitch. And there's a couple of different designs here, so they vary in size. But look how cute. Look at these little mini, look at these. Those are so, so cute. These would make for like a really great little card or something like that. And then they have these little bigger designs here. Baby sleeping, the teddy bear. And these are just ideas. You could put on a onesie or a bib. But, you know, you certainly don't have to. It calls for DMC with Sullivan's conversion. I think these are super cute. They would go really, really quickly. I'm going to do something with them. My cousin is having their second child coming up here. So I think it's fun. Oh, and then they give you 5 charts and an alphabet. So they give you an alphabet, and then they give you bonus charts, which I'm going to have a hard time showing you because it's the actual charts. But there's like a baby with a bottle. There's a little pea pod, and it says it's twins, and there's 2 little babies there. And then there's a cat and a dog, because it says we didn't forget about your fur babies. So that's really cute. This next one is a really cute, kind of simple sampler. It's really, really like it. It is designed by Mirabillia. It is 70 stitches high by 68 stitches wide, and they have it finished in a hoop, which makes sense when you see the chart. Calls for DMC with Sullivan's conversion, and it's called You Arrived. So it says you arrived on at the perfect time. And then you put the name and the date and time that they were born, and you have the hot air balloon and the earth. And I think that's just such a darling, like such a different way to do a birth sampler. So I really like that one. And they give you the full alphabet so that you can personalize it. Okay, then at the back here, you know, they give you some instructions, how to do a twisted cording, how to do a flat ornament finishing, hoop finishing instructions. They give you a template for the Easter eggs. So they aren't leaving you high and dry. They give you some stitching instructions, so for the various stitches. And then we have the Christmas shop, or I'm sorry, the Christmas stitch. It's 12 Days of Christmas Ornament Series, days 3 and 4. So they are doing this to build your Christmas ornament collection, just giving you a couple of charts each issue. So you have a couple of months to work on these, and then by the end of the year, you will have your whole set. Now, the theme for this one is 12 Days of Christmas. So in February, we got days 1 and 2. This month, we get days 3 and 4. So they look like this. 3 French hens, and you can see there's a little charm there that says 3, which is cute. 4 calling birds. And I like how they finished it really cute. And these look different. These look really different to me. Like they don't necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily think, hey, those are from the same series other than, you know, the wording and we know that song. So I kind of like that they're not totally the same. The 3 French hens is 36 stitches high by 32 stitches wide, and calling birds is 38 stitches high by 40 stitches wide. So they're pretty small. DMC's called for Sullivan's conversion. And then they give you, I think this is nice, they give you kind of a project gallery at the back. So you can kind of just, instead of leafing through the whole magazine, you kind of look and say, oh, I want to stitch this piece. Let's turn to page 16 or something like that. And that's the issue. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you liked, what you think you're going to stitch if you're going to pick this issue up. I love to hear what pieces spoke to you. A lot of you put that down in the comments, and I love to hear it. Again, this is the one that is really on my to-do list right now. I mean, I'm not going to stitch it right now, but let me know how you would do, what you would do with this. Because I want this to be highlighted. Would you make a little mini drum for spring? A spring drum? How many times would you repeat this? What are your ideas? I'm looking for your ideas. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that flip through, and thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.